We're getting close to the end of 2024, so that means we have brand new Arsenal guides, ball company by ball company, that we need to make. So today we're going to be covering three different brands in one. We're going to be doing track bowling, Columbia 300, and Ebonite bowling all into one great Arsenal video. Reminder, if you like what we do here or you want some help building an arsenal, make sure to subscribe down below. Helps me out a ton, and then I can make more content to help you guys make good bowling ball choices. Let's get right into it. So for a quick preface for anyone new, we have 6 ball categories that we base these off of the Chris Barnes scale. We have a strong smooth ball, strong and sharp, medium smooth, medium sharp, weak smooth, and a weak and sharp bowling ball. That determines where the general reaction is on the lane and what kind of reaction the ball has. So we are going to start with the strong and smooth category. Generally, larger, stronger, earlier asymmetrical bowling balls fit in this list. And the number one ball from these three companies, and really from the Brunswick brands in general in this slot, is going to be the Track Criterion. The Track Criterion is a pretty new bowling ball, only got released in October or September, but it is a very strong, not strongest bowling ball in the world, but it is very strong for an asymmetrical bowling ball. Very smooth. In my opinion, it does exactly what you want a big, slow asim to do. For asymmetrical bowling balls, you want them to be decent from straighter, because that's generally how you're going to play them when there's a lot of oil, but you also want them to be manageable if you have to move left. The big problem with a lot of strong asymmetrical bowling balls is the minute you start moving left, you start leaving 10 pins and 7 pins, and your carry percentage vanishes. But with this criterion, it seems to like angle better than most other asymmetrical bowling balls. Kind of reminds me of a Black Widow-esque reaction, which is an awesome compliment to get. That's one of the best asymmetrical balls of all time. But it really has this good reaction where it seems like it's going to be more versatile than the average asymmetrical, strong, dull, smooth bowling ball, whatever word you want to use in there. So my top choice is going to be the Criterion. There is one other bowling ball that could fit in this list, and it is also a new ball. It is the Ebonite Crusher. Now, the Ebonite Crusher is a hybrid bowling ball, so it wants to get a little further down lane and be a little bit sharper, but it still has a weird rolly reaction to it. The Crusher is good. It likes angle more than you'd expect, but it doesn't really have as much of a slot. If you're more rev dominant, I think you're gonna like the Crusher a little bit better than the Criterion, because it's gonna get further down lane for you. Also, if you don't have much axis rotation, this Crusher will be better than the Criterion, but in every other case, I would choose the Criterion. Now, in the next category, we have our strong and sharp bowling ball. This generally is going to be pearl or shiny asymmetrical bowling balls. And we have arguably the best ball of the end of 2023 here, the Track Theorem. The Track Theorem is by far and away one of the best shiny and strong bowling balls on the market today. It's the best one in the Brunswick brands. It's probably close to being better than most of the SPI ones, and is better than anything Motive has in this category. This ball does everything you want it to. It's a low to medium RG bowling ball. It is a low to medium differential bowling ball, medium of the road intermediate differential. It's just versatile. It does everything you want it to. I've seen people play straight from deeper. PBA pros love it. Amateurs love it. League bowlers love it. It really is just that jack of all trade bowling ball in this slot. It doesn't do anything like better than a lot of others. It isn't the sharpest bowling ball in the world. It isn't also the smoothest bowling ball in the world. It's just middle of the road on everything, but it's just really, really good at all of those things. So if you've been in bowling for the last year or so, you've probably seen a theorem being thrown down the lane. So this has to be in this slot. I have one honorable mention in this category, and that is going to be Ebonite the One Reverb. Now, the One series has been very hit or miss for Ebonite. They had the Encore and the Remix. They were okay. This core is just so strong that those balls just hooked way too early. But now the Reverb seems to get really far down lane. It has a very, very good altered reality-esque reaction to it. If you guys remember the old altered reality, I think that was an awesome ball from 4 to 5 years ago. This is very, very similar. Cool colorway too. But I think this One Reverb could be another ball that fits in this category if you don't want a theorem. Now, I will always recommend the theorem, but I think the One Reverb is going to be better for some more speed dominant bowlers, because the One Reverb is going to be a little bit earlier, but also sharper, which is a very unique case compared to the theorem. Moving on to the medium and smooth category, this is where many of our benchmark bowling balls are going to be coming into play. These are generally symmetrical and smooth bowling balls. And from these three brands, there's really one ball that stands out above the rest. That is the Game Breaker 5. The Game Breaker 5 is, of course, the fifth iteration in the Game Breaker Solid portion of the series. The GB5 is just everything that all of the other Game Breakers had. It does everything great. It does exactly what you want as a benchmark. You know what it's going to do. Predictable. It's smooth. It's good on oil. If there isn't much oil, it'll still be good. It's really Brunswick's version of the Phase 2. Now, there's a couple other balls that are close to the GB5 in the Brunswick line. Hazmat Solid, for example. But really, the GB5 is the Phase 2 of Brunswick. It is just that versatile, do it all bowling ball reaction. It is absolutely fantastic for anything and all of those things. I've seen it from hooking. I've seen it with polish on. I've seen it from straighter. This ball really is it. Now, this is also a sleeper pick and a very cheap pick. Now, not many people have GB5s out there. I don't know how the sales numbers look. I'm not part of that portion of the industry, but I haven't seen as many as I expected. And also, this ball is insanely, insanely cheap. This is the cheapest bowling ball in this medium and smooth slot. So if you're trying to beat bowl on a budget, this could be a great choice for you. A mini honorable mention in the medium and smooth category is going to be the Track Cypher. Now, this is a fantastic smooth ball from Track. I really, really like this one. A lot of PWBA bowlers really liked this one. It is very, very smooth, though, and a little bit weaker. So if you're more rev dominant, you might like that better than a GB5. But if you're speed dominant or balanced, definitely go with the GB5. Let's jump over to the medium and sharp category. Now, this slot generally has weak asymmetrical pearls, or it has symmetrical pearls that are a little bit stronger, or shiny balls in general. I shouldn't say pearl because the next ball on the list is not even a pearl. Similar to the GB5, it's another GB. It is the GB4 Hybrid. This bowling ball has won multiple PBA titles. It is a hybrid and symmetrical bowling ball. It comes polished. It has that Game Breaker core, the amazing, amazing Game Breaker core, has a hybrid cover stock on it, really puts it in the middle of a medium and sharp category. Once the GB5 starts hooking too much, too early, you're leaving too many corner pins, things like that, you switch right down to the GB4 Hybrid, and it's very smooth to be in this slot, but it is great at what it does. It's going to be very versatile. It's going to be smoother, so better from straighter. I have seen it work really well from deep. You just have to add some axis rotation to it. That ball reaction generally is a little bit better because it's consistent. You're going to be leaving a lot less 210 combos, a lot less big four combos, things like that. So especially if you're a tournament bowler, this GB4 Hybrid is a great play. But even if you're a league bowler, this could be a really good option. If you don't have much axis rotation, might not be the best choice. But in general, this has been a great ball. It's been out for at least 1 year, maybe close to 2 years at this point, because it is the previous Game Breaker iteration in the GB4. So this is a great choice for the medium and sharp slot. Our honorable mention will be a ball that is very, very new. It is the Ebonite Real Time. Now, the Real Time is a play off the old Ebonite Big Time SE. This is a shiny solid bowling ball. This one will be sharper than the GB4 Hybrid because of the polish and because of how the core rolls. Overall, this ball is just too new to be able to put it in this category, so stick with the GB4 Hybrid. If you want the new version of this ball that could fit in this slot, the Real Time is going to be a great play. Plus, the colorway is amazing. Now let's jump over to the last two categories. The first one being the weak and smooth category. In my opinion, this is the least usable category on our 6-ball scale. Not many bowlers truly need something in this slot, especially if you're a league bowler. But if you still want to fill out a full 6-ball arsenal, this is a slot that you want to fill. This one's going to be a little bit weird with these companies. Track, C300, and Ebonite don't really have much that fits here that well. So what we're going to do is we're going to be putting in the Columbia 300 Messenger Pearl. This ball is way, way smoother than it was anticipated, than was predicted, than was marketed. This is a very low-end bowling ball. It is a play off the old Messengers from Columbia 300. It reacts pretty similar to the old Messengers. However, that ball reaction isn't that great in today's game right now because it is going to get far down lane, but it's super smooth when it gets there. Very unique. Do you need that ball reaction? I think a lot of certain specific bowlers would like that ball reaction. If you have a problem with your ball being way too angular down lane, way too sharp, or you can't get a ball to get down lane, but you want to play straighter, this messenger pearl is going to be the play. This is going to be a great ball from playing the track, which is about 10 board or second arrow, and having it get really far down lane, even in league when there's a bunch of burn and there isn't much oil left, but it's not going to be too sharp down lane. It's still going to be able to walk into the pocket pretty nicely. So if you're looking for a weak and smooth ball from these slots, or if you're somebody that just has a problem getting a ball down lane and being too angular, this Power Core Pearl is going to be a great option. We have one category remaining. That is the weak and sharp category. This is generally going to be very weak core pearl bowling balls. And we have a good sleeper pick from Track Bowling in this slot. It is a name that's been around bowling for quite a while, and this new iteration is amazing and looks amazing, and it is the Tundra Blue Fire. So the Tundra and the Tundra Blue Fire and all of the other Tundras in the past have really been a staple in this weak and sharp slot. If you need something that is weaker, but is still going to have a really good ball reaction down lane, you want a Tundra. And this Tundra Blue Fire is the newest iteration, slightly updated everything. New colorway. The core is pretty much the same. The cover is different and updated for today's conditions. This ball, though, does it all in that case. If you're on wood lanes, this ball is going to be great. Both of these weak balls will be great for that. But even on synthetics, if you're in game 3 and your ball is just hooking way too much or way too early, this ball will get down lane before it hooks. And it is going to be sharp, sharper than a messenger pearl, but it's not going to be insanely just sideways when it sees friction, which is what you want from a medium and sharp ball. You don't want it to be able to take a 90-degree turn and go left if you're a righty. You want something that's still going to be a little bit rounder, even though it's a pearl, and this Tundra Blue Fire is going to be a great option for that. Also, if you're on a budget, this is going to be a good ball for this slot. So this ball is actually very, very cheap, similar to a GB5, where it's just cheaper than everything else in the category, but it's going to be really, really good, while it is also very cheap. And ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for our Track, Columbia 300, and Ebonite bowling arsenals. This is updated from May, so this is with a ton of new bowling balls. There are some in here that have been around since the previous video. If you want to go check out that video, that would be fantastic. Then you can compare which balls were on both lists, because if there's a ball that was on both lists, it's probably really good. Shout out GB5. There's going to be a lot of overlap with some of these lists. So if there's some overlap, that's a good sign. That means that ball has really been able to be good for multiple months and not just be good right when it comes out. And that's a really big thing to remember with bowling balls. You want it to have some time to be able to see how many bowler styles actually like it and which bowler styles do. If you have any questions about your arsenal or about any of the balls that we mentioned, make sure to put them down below in the comments. I try to read and hit every single comment that you guys post. Otherwise, shoot me a DM on something like TikTok or Instagram, and go follow if you go check those out, because I will be able to answer those much, much quicker. But that is going to be it today for me, guys. We have another arsenal to do yet with the other brands of Brunswick. So stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe so you can see that. And we have a lot of cool content coming for the rest of the year. Thanks for watching.